Welcome to the System to Success show. On this show, we'll cover the best growth advice from top CEOs in North America and beyond. On each episode, your host, Jay Crutchfield, he's a former software engineer turned entrepreneur, created and maintained online marketing, online sales, and fulfillment systems for global brands. He offers non-traditional wisdom about business systems mastery, while his guests share the story of how they built their companies. Jay and his guests talk entrepreneurship, digital marketing, strategy, and business principles. But they also talk about what it means to be human with all the ups and downs, advances, and setbacks. And what he does is he takes his information and strategies that has helped catapult global brands and brings that to the small business owner to give them that advantage. Make sure to subscribe and follow for more of these business system mastery principles.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because they're going to ask. I mean, my first paid speaking engagements was in libraries for $250. So I went from $250 to $500. I thought that was like, oh my gosh. And then $1,000 and then $1,500. And I did that. Was I in? No, I wasn't yet with Montel yet. So that was, but I didn't think of that as, so funny. I could look back. I didn't even know that was professional speaking. Like looking back, that was just, I don't know, they were asking me, I was telling them. I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea that this was a speaking. I had no idea. Even now, looking back, I realized that when Montel said that, it never even dawned on me that that's what I had been doing at the libraries, was them paying me these little amounts of money. I mean, honestly, Jay, until now, it's like, oh, didn't know. But then after talking to Montel and because being on TV, then a speaking bureau found me through Montel, and some people for speaking bureau found me, and then they started booking me at speeches, and they were like, okay, we're going to pay you $8,000 to speak. I was like, what? I didn't say that, but in my mind I was like, what? Like, I remember, I remember I was a social worker. Social workers don't make a lot of money. So when I was doing the speaker bureau, suddenly I was making within weeks more than I was making my whole year speaking, at doing my work. What? And then jealousy started happening and stuff. So it was like, okay, you need to go off on your own. But being with the bureau really taught me about the value of what I brought on the table, because that no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. A lot of times you're going to get people giving you insights and information from where they're at, not where your value really is. So if you hang out with gang members, you're going to be a gang member. If you're going to hang out with people who are $1,000 speakers, you're going to be $1,000 speakers. If you hang out with people that are $10,000 a speaker, there's a good possibility that you'll start asking for $10,000. Do you know what I mean? Because they don't know at that level. That doesn't everybody pay that? Doesn't everybody get that? But you have to be funny. You have to have content. You have to be relatable. You have to have practice. And the more that you start doing things, it's really different from speaking in a training room, right? Without lights, to moving to being on a stage, where the stage and there's, a headset microphone and there's music coming in, and there's speakers, and then you move to a bigger thing where now they have, now it's a big stage and have big curtains, and then you have a confidence monitor, and then you're going in for AV practice, and you're seeing, your stuff being up on the wall. That's really different than going into, now you're with 8,000 to 10,000 people, and you have yourself like all over the place, and you're in a green room, and you're going to come out and you can't see anybody because the lights are in your eyes. So you're doing what you do knowing that they're in the audience, but you don't see them. You know what I mean? And you got to be practiced. So you're looking up there to the person that's at the rafters over there that, is in that corner, as making them as important as the person in the front. It's growth, it's progress, it's experience. So your first job from your free is when they say, we want to bring you in and we want to hire you. So it'll be, we want to hire you. What's your fee? And then you stutter, puke, and say a number. Because that's normal. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to, you find out you were too low. Next time you know to do more. There's no perfection. There's no price, there's no here's a speaker's price piece, because it's more about understanding first how confident are you of what you do and how you do it, and how you've put yourself into amongst people, places, and situations that have the money to pay what you want. Is that helpful?
It is. So especially on don't be afraid to go ahead and take that free paid speaking engagement, because there may lead to referrals.
Absolutely. I mean, I still do free gigs. I do free gigs because if I don't have any speeches lined up, okay, I want to practice some new material.
Okay.
Now, I'm not going to get on a plane to do a free thing, but if it's in my town, a local area, I'll come, and if my schedule allows it, I'll go there. When I'm looking to break into a new industry. So if I'm looking to break into a new industry and get some testimonial, some feedbacks, does this resonate? What are the words? I might take a gig, right? I don't do it with everybody. That for years and years, I donated a speech once a year to something called Florida Rock, which was a group of families whose kids were diagnosed within the last year with cancer. So I donate my time and speak for them for free, right? Because it was something I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. It's your own business. You can do whatever you want, right? But you have to be. People won't hire you if they don't see you. They're not going to hire you because you've got a great website. They're not going to hire you if you've got, they're not going to hire you that way. They're going to hire you because they've seen you. Now, you could do a lot of stuff on YouTube. You could do but you still have to do free things for people to see you. You can't do it the way we're doing it right now. They're not going to hire you by having a conversation like that, because maybe I'm good talking to you this way, but how does the planner, the person that wants to hire, how do they know that I'm not going to freeze in front of an audience? How do they know that I'm not going to be, funny? How do they know that, it's only by them seeing me in front of an audience or seeing my videos on YouTube, which everybody could go to, just go to YouTube/Team Pegine, or just write Pegine, Pegine, and then you could find my videos. But that's what they're going to look for, and they want the polished demo, but they want the raw stuff too. So I have, I'm going to mess up words on stage. They should know that. Well, I don't do it all the time, but they should know that. Is that helpful?
It is. It is. So looking at it now, I mean, you've been in the game for some time, after Montel getting in your face to you having around, you said 20 plus years of experience in professional speaking. So now what's your vision now for just your speaking career?
So I'll speak until the day that I die. One of my heroes is Jeannie Robertson, who's a female speaker. You could all go and just look, Jeannie Robertson, comic, humorist. Jeannie Robinson was a speaker. She was a former Miss America, or like one of the runner-ups Miss America. So we're talking like back in the 60s or 70s. But she hit her stride like fame when she was 70. She had been speaking forever, but somebody took some of her videos and made it into audios and sent it to Sirius Radio, and they have a comedy station, so they're always looking for content. So they sent her stuff to them. They started playing it, and she started getting millions of followers, not millions. She travels all over the country. She's now 75. She just had a hip replacement. She even sits on a rocking chair. She closes out theaters. I mean, I'm talking like Apollo size, big theaters. Sells them out across the country. She's been doing it for now at least 10 years. She's 77 years old, maybe older. And, you can only do that in speaking, right? One of my heroes his name was Alan Simberg. And I met him when he was 80, right? I am part of the National Speakers Association, and I was president of the New York chapter, and we were giving him an award. He came in with his daughter from Long Island. He was 95, and he was still speaking and getting paid. Now, it was a little bit different kind of speaking, right? He wasn't getting the same books that he was, but he was still speaking. I mean, you're talking 95, you're going out and you're making money speaking. Like, that's amazing. So for me I plan to live to 117. I've invested, I just, why not, right? And we're the only industry that, so my mom is in a wheelchair now, she's 88, and I'm thinking, yeah, I could speak with that. She has a motorized wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I could still be going out speaking. I can make people laugh. I can educate them. I can inspire them. And, now you start looking at things and realizing there's no limits to what you can do with this, right? You can speak. So one is I'll continue speaking. Now I do a lot of coaching, and I love my coaching, and I use professional role players to coach people to have influence, impact, and inspire others. I usually do it with executives and politicians to learn how to present. And then I have a membership group for women experts, authorities, and speakers, so that they can get coaching from me through my memberships, right? So it's all people and it's only women, because I really know, I understand this business, right? And so it costs the same thing that it will cost to take me out to lunch once a month. And literally that's what they do. So that's my future. I always have a business plan that I follow, that I stay focused on, because you can't run this business if you don't have a plan. You just can't. I mean, I know that people try to do it, but you can't. I don't think that you can have a good plan. There's too much that goes into it. There's marketing and your products and your accounting and your finances, and you got to know how much money you have and how much money you're spending to get what you want. There's stuff that you have to buy as a speaker as you grow your business that most people don't realize. They think it's just, oh, this is a cheap business to be in. Okay. It's a long-term business. In other words, anybody watching here that has listened to things of, you're going to get rich overnight by speaking. No, you're not. It's the best piece of advice was something that I received over 20 years ago. I was standing on the corner of 47th and 7th, going to the National Speakers Association meeting, and I was standing there, and man, I was hurting, even though I had these speeches. I mean, there was like, even though I was at that point when I had stopped working with was it just still working? Oh, I still working with the Bureau? Yeah, I think so. but the speeches were still coming. Like, it wasn't like every day I was speaking. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So there were moments, silence, right? And you're like, you still got the bills to pay.
Mm-hmm.
And I was, so it was one of those moments where I was just like, and I was with this guy, Bob Frere, and Bob said, oh, I just closed my first $1 million deal, training deal. And man, I was like this. Oh my God. And he looked at me and he looked at the other woman that was with. He goes, yeah, I'm a freaking 20-year overnight sensation. And I held on to that with my life because it was the first time that I heard this is a long-term business. So it is not, you don't, and people say, well, write a book and make it into a New York Times bestseller. And I know people that have spent $35,000 on getting the book so it's on the bestseller list, another $30,000 to get it written and produced and have the book. I mean, all that stuff. And still, that doesn't do jack squat. It really doesn't. It doesn't make the phone ring. When I finally had my book, Montel, this is, God, I feel like I'm all over the place, but is this all right, Jay?
Oh, yeah, you're fine.
Okay. So finally I got my book done. Montel says to me, this is so funny, we're gonna do 2 full shows just about you, no other guests, just you and me alone. And we're gonna do about your book and talk about this. And I said, wow, that's amazing. Thank you so much. He said, you're great. You're one of the favorite guests, because you got to make sure that at your house you have at least 35 phone lines, because we're going to put the 800 number and they're going to call up and order your book. It's like going to be like crazy. What he didn't know is I didn't have any money to do this stuff. We called to find out what it would cost to put 35 phone lines and to get one of those, like 800 call center. That was a lot of money. That was like $100,000. You're like, no, and hell no, right? So we ended up buying an 800 line. We ended up getting 3 phone lines at the house. And it was me, my husband, and my mother. We were going to answer these phones because they were going to come flying in. So it's airs, right? It's a recorded, and then it's going to be put on TV. So we knew when it was going to be on. And we had the line and the phone numbers for like a month, right? So we were prepared for whenever he told us it was going to be on. They tell us when it is. We're waiting. Oh my God, there's a show. There's me. I look great. He's talking to me. Everybody, oh, we love it. Everybody gets a book, because back then you give the book, like Oprah used to do. So he did the same thing. Everybody, oh, so I had to pay for all those books, by the way, $20 a piece for all those people in the audience. Yeah, because my publisher doesn't give it to you for free. So does this. We're at home waiting for the thousands of phone calls for the order. I got order forms ready. Ask me how many calls I got. Go ahead.
How many you gave the game? Oh, no. Oh, no.
Ask me how many speaking engagements I got.
How many speaking engagements did you get from that? Oh, man.
He did it twice. High ratings. Got another Emmy from it. Nada. So, and I don't mean to put it down for people, but you got to know, you just have to know that one, you can only do what you can do. You're not going to put your family in hock. Lots of people are going to tell you, and I appreciate that Montel said what he said. He believed in me. He's, just believed in me. And, the truth of the matter was, that's how it is in this business. You know, it's more about the putting yourself out there, being consistent, showing up, being really good on stage, taking courses, go to your local comedy club, learn about humor, learn how to do that. Go to a local theater class, learn how to move your body and use your body. Take a dance class so you know how to move your body, because you got to be good on stage. That's what I say.
Okay. Yeah, that's some good, awesome info that you just gave there. So I'm thinking about just some of the things that you were saying, and I've started thinking about how to. So you get your first speaking gig. How do you start to line things up to maybe put yourself in a place where you can start to get those bigger deals after getting those first couple deals?
So once you start getting your first couple of deals and you start knowing that, okay, I can, you start going where they pay. So you start going to conferences from, so for me, it was Society of Human Resource Management, because HR people hire speakers, right? And at a certain level. And certainly you could get into that 4-figure area. And you go, so you go to like the Association of Training and Development, the learning development people from different groups and associations. They also hire speakers. You want to be aware that just because you say you're speaker isn't how you get the jobs. They get to kind of know you. Again, you're going to have to submit proposals to be a free speaker at some of these experiences, because once they start seeing you and understand what you do, then they start wanting to hire you. And then you have to follow up. This is 99% of what you do is sales, to get the 1% of the speaking that you really want to do. So sales is putting yourself out there, on that internet thing, and doing your social media, and having being consistent. You've got to be consistent. You can't expect anybody to come to you if you're not consistent. I mean, every day I am on social media. So I'm either promoting a blog, answering a response, putting up a graphic, something that stays consistent with my brand. You've got to do it all the time. You have to respond. If you're not willing to do that, then don't bother, right? I've been writing my blogs and stuff for over 20 years. You lose them all, then you feel like you're starting to go, but you're always growing, and it's really, really, really important. It's really, really important that you're putting out articles about your expertise and information, because it's got to lead back to you. Oh my God, she wrote about this. This is interesting. Oh, she's a speaker. Let me see what she's doing. So you've got to put that stuff out there. They had that saying, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the problem with that saying is, so that when the student is ready, the teacher pay, and I'm adding in, that's if the teacher is marketing, because otherwise I'm not going to find you. So the student can be ready, but if you're not marketing, and if you're not out there and you're not being there, they won't know that you're a teacher for them. They won't know that you're the speaker to come to their groups. They don't know that. So you need to educate them. You need to put it out there. That's your responsibility. Your responsibility so that is to ask for referrals. Your responsibility is to tell people what you do. I mean, literally, you have to take some sales courses. I'm sorry. This is a sales business. And you just have to get over it. If you don't, and stop saying I don't like sales. If you want to speak, I love sales and I love speaking. I love sales. I love speaking. You've got to love them both, because if you want to do this as a business, especially if you want to get, well, if you're going to the 4,000, the 4-figure to the 5-figure, you really need to be recognized and owned. At the higher level, the agents have to know you, entertainment agencies have to know you, advertising agencies have to know you, meeting planners have to know you, conference event organizers, the media has to know you, that you have to be a seen and a valued entity. And if you're not, then think about how many people might be watching this. So it might be thousands of people watching it. They all want to be speakers. How many are, you just have to be out there. You have to be so passionate about what you do that you can't help but do it. I can't imagine that I would ever, well, I know that I would never do anything else. I know that I know why I was placed on this earth. I absolutely know that the people that I serve are leaders. They have impact, influence, and they inspire others. They know it, own it, and share it. I am all about being powerful and being you. That's what I was put on this earth, to educate people. So there's no way that I could stop it, because until the day I die, my mission is not over. My mission will never be over. It is what I was placed to hear. So I haven't begun to touch the thousands of people that I'm supposed to touch and reinforce to those people who have worked with me in the past. It's what I'm supposed to do. So I'm always going to be comfortable being uncomfortable. I'm always going to go out and pitch and promote. I'm always going to go and say, okay, I'll be on your show. I don't know who's listening. Hi, I'm here. I don't know, but I want them. I got to be out there. Yeah. Be fearless, be focused, have fun. That's what you have to do.
Did you say be feisty for that first one?
I go be feisty, yes. Be fearless, be focused, have fun.
And have fun. Be feisty, be fearless, be focused, and have fun. Wow. Yeah, Pegine, this has been such an awesome conversation. Just getting to know you better, understanding more about your background and just how you've transitioned and transformed to be just such a dynamic and fun and awesome speaker. So I just want to say thank you so much for just taking the time to be on the show today. And I don't want to end the conversation, but
I know, I'm looking at the time like, oh my gosh. I will tell people that if they want to find out, if they want to have a monthly lunch with me, basically, if they go to feistyfearlessfemale.com, feistyfearlessfemale.com, they'll get a little bit more information about how I can serve them. And Jay, I got to tell you, this has been so much fun. I am so grateful that you invited me to be on, and I'm only sending you blessings, and that you be blessed and watched over, and it's all good.
Thank you. I received that, Pegine. Thank you so much. It's definitely been a pleasure, and I just want to reiterate the website that you said for them. You said Feisty Fearless Female,
right? .com.
Okay. FeistyFearlessFemale.com.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And Jay, you really do need to just put some attitude in it. It's FeistyFearlessFemale.com.
Oh. You don't give me another chance at it? FeistyFearlessFemale.com.
Ooh, there you go. I just have been rewarded.
Oh yeah. So if you want to take Pegine to lunch, make sure you go to FeistyFearlessFemale.com and make sure you connect with her. Pegine, this has been just such an awesome experience with you, and I just want to say thank you again so much for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me. I really, really appreciate it.